Welcome to One Tired Teacher, episode 144, Why Are Makerspaces Important in the Elementary Classroom? So today we're going to talk about why Makerspace is important. And if you have been listening to One Tired Teacher, you will know that I talk about Makerspace a lot. I am such a huge fan of what it stands for, the mindset, the inquiry, the discovery, students working through productive struggle, kids learning and building and creating, and I just get really excited about it. In fact, if you look back at the content, you'll see that I really have talked about it a lot. And I even have a course on mastering Makerspace. It is that important to me. It's important for me to share it with other teachers, essentially sharing it with, thousands of kids and getting kids excited and engaged in learning. So my course is currently closed. It'll be opening up shortly. It'll be opening up soon. And if you are wanting to know when that is and you want to be a part of it, then you can come join me at trinadeveryteachingandlearning.com/MML freebie. That's a Makerspace moment in literature, MML freebie. If you just put that on at the end of the website, it'll take you to a landing page and you can grab a Makerspace moment in literature freebie and also be notified when the course opens back up, Mastering Makerspace. So join me. I hope that you do. It's so exciting. So let's talk about today. Today, we are going to talk about why Makerspaces are so important in the elementary classroom. And I hope that you will stick around.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Devery Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Devery.
Hey, so if you can't tell, my voice is still not back to normal. Last week, I did a really, really short episode, and I let you know that I was really sick. I've been really sick. I actually had COVID, and I'm still sick at the time of this recording. It's been over a week now. It's been crazy, and my voice is still kind of gravelly, and I have a lot of coughing, and that's not fun at all. But I was like, okay, last week I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep recording for the next couple of weeks. And I had a few really sweet messages in the Facebook group, Makerspace, Thinking and Learning. And also I had some people reach out and just tell me they hope I felt better. And it meant so much. I really appreciate it. So if that was you, I appreciate your kind words and thinking about me, because it can be a lonely, isolating, thing to have. And it's upsetting and scary, and it's a lot. So I think I'm getting better. I feel like I'm getting better for sure. But I am like, it's rough. All right. So anyway, thanks again. Let's talk about some exciting things that are happening before we jump in, because I have something really cool to tell you. And that is that currently right now, Fall STEM extravaganza is going on. It is a really exciting week of activities and freebies and discounts and bonuses and giveaways and panels. It's so exciting. I'm so proud to be a part of this group of phenomenal STEM educators and, people that really believe in children loving to learn and working through STEM or Makerspace and, hands-on and inquiry. And I think that's really exciting. We kicked off yesterday. So if you're listening to the podcast on Monday, the 13th, we kicked off on Sunday with a STEM library panel hosted by Brooke Brown. Love her. And that was incredible. And so I think that if you missed it, you can still catch it, because everything is going to be able to be replayed for a little bit. We have a site that has like the information about where you go, and I'll link to it in the show notes. And you are, one of the things that you get is this whole bundle of freebies. So all you're doing is just putting in your information and you're getting $90 worth of resources. That's crazy. And one of them is actually, for me, it's a Makerspace moment in literature. It's an accompaniment, is that how you say it, to what the house that monster built. And so students do some close reading activities, and then they also create solutions to monster's problem, which is that his house, he needs a house. So they're basically essentially building monster houses. They don't have to, because we want to keep it open-ended. If we told them they had to do a monster house, and we would be making it more of a craft, and we want them to think of solutions. So that's a little bit of a twist, but that is available for free in the download, and that's exciting. And then I have a bunch of other Halloween Makerspaces, and you can check those out too, because they're just so fun. And so anyway, so that is released today. That bundle is actually released today. And then also tonight is my panel that I'm hosting on Makerspace, all things Makerspace. I have some really excellent panelists that are joining me, and I'm excited to talk to them in person and talk about Makerspace. So if there's any questions that you have, I put it out in my group, Makerspace Thinking and Learning. What's also inside the pop-up Facebook group that we're using for STEM Extravaganza, and Fall STEM Extravaganza, I should say. And it's out there in the world. I put it on Instagram. So find me somewhere, ask the question, and I will address those questions tonight at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time inside that Fall STEM Extravaganza Facebook group. And I'll link to that in the show notes too, because you don't want to miss it. It's going to be great. I'm excited about it because you know how I feel about Makerspace. So it's going to be really, really cool. And it's just such a great experience. And then there's going to be lots of other things throughout the week. We've got, talking about STEM with resources, and we're talking about diversity in STEM. And so we have several different really cool panels that are going to go on this week. And we've got some more bonuses coming, and we've got a giveaway going on for some really cool gift certificates. You get to choose actually if you want $100 to Amazon or $100 to TPT. And we will also have some really flash deals, like dollar deals. So that'll be super exciting. You want to take advantage of that. I believe that's on Wednesday. And I get confused. It might be Tuesday. It might be tomorrow. And then we have, some really cool things happening. So hopefully you will check that out. All right. So let's talk about why Makerspace is so important. First of all, for those of you who don't know what a Makerspace is, it really is more of a mindset, one of innovation, creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. And yes, it can be a space that you have set up inside of your classroom or your media center, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to have a large space. You don't have to have a dedicated space. It can be in a closet. It can be in a box or a tub or a cabinet, or even taken outside, which can be, really helpful, especially for little ones. I talk a lot about specifics inside my Mastering Makerspace course, because so many teachers get hung up on the idea of taking up more space inside of their classroom because it's already overcrowded. And especially right now, we're still trying to be, more separated. And so there's just lots to consider. But there are tons of solutions in this space issue. So don't be worried about that. Don't let that be the thing that stops you. And also, I like to keep in mind that, yes, there's some great central makerspaces, even in museums and things, and libraries all over the country, and even in our own schools. But having that personal, intimate makerspace in your classroom so that you can continually, extend using Makerspace can be such a powerful thing for students in every classroom. So that's really where my passion lies. And I think we should have both. So that's kind of how I feel about that. So why are Makerspaces so important? Well, most importantly, Makerspaces often feel like play. And children learn best when they feel like they're playing rather than schooling. So when the brain is happy and associates happy activities with what they're doing, kids are better able to absorb information. They're better able to learn, think critically, synthesize, do all the higher level thinking skills we want them to do. When brains are happy, it's so much easier. I think about that even for myself. When I'm happy, my life is easier. My job is easier. If I'm doing something hard, but at the same time, I feel like I'm kind of having fun, it changes my outlook and it changes what I get out of the experience. So I think this is certainly true for kids. Makerspace also allows instruction to be more hands-on, and it really allows kids to work through other areas of the brain rather than that constant paper pencil thinking that occurs in most of our classrooms. And it takes a different approach to showing what kids know. Makerspaces can bring standards to life, whether those are STEM standards or social and emotional aspects of learning, or even literacy standards. That is one of my favorite things to incorporate in Makerspace is literacy. And I know it gets off a little bit of STEM, but we're still talking about the engineering design process, but we're bringing in really good books, and I think that's really cool. And if you listen to the STEM libraries with Brooke Brown, then you would have heard some great titles that you could incorporate, and you can still catch that. So Makerspace also promotes creativity, and it allows children to learn and fail in safe environments. And this is probably one of my very favorite reasons, because when we teach children how to fail or how to even fall down, we teach them also how to get back up. And we are giving them this invaluable life lesson where perseverance is a natural part of living. So those are just a few of the reasons that I think Makerspace is so important in our elementary schools and in our classrooms. And they aren't just for, like I said, a central location in our school. Those are awesome for sure, but they're still so necessary to have them in our own spaces. And I think the larger ones can often house like cooler technology and more expensive materials, but classrooms also need an iteration of these spaces. This encourages classrooms to be using Makerspace on a more consistent basis. All right, I hope that I have sparked your interest just a bit. And if you want to hear more about Makerspace, then come join me tonight inside of the Fall STEM Facebook group, and you're going to tune in live and watch the panel at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In fact, if you have a question, you can let me know, shoot me a quick message, respond on a post on Instagram or in Facebook, give it to me quick so I can add it to the list and I can address it. You can actually ask it live as well. So I may end up looking at questions live too. You will just see how it all goes. So anyway, if you have, like I said, if you have questions, post it, let me know. And I'd also, when you're saying it, like if you do show up live and you ask your question, or even if you write it, just put OTT, put One Tired Teacher next to it. You don't have to spell it all out. Just write OTT so that I can give you a shout out for being a One Tired Teacher listener. I hope to see you there. This One Tired Teacher is still recovering from COVID, so I'm going to try my best to keep my energy up. Until next time, sweet dreams and sleep tight.